The new 2026 IRS tax brackets are going to save millions of people more money. But those who understand how to maneuver through these tax brackets stand to benefit the most. There's a reason why some of the wealthiest individuals are able to earn billions while paying close to 0% of their total wealth towards taxes. And it starts with a simple understanding of your own tax rate and a shift in mindset. So today we're going to have some fun. You are going to find out what tax bracket you will be in according to your income in 2026. And I'm also going to show you some legitimate ways to actually reduce your tax bracket and save even more money as a licensed CPA that tax plans every day at mycpacoach.com. So let's jump right in. All right, so in the United States, we have what is called a progressive tax system, which means as your income increases, it is taxed higher in increments. Now, it is easiest to think about this in a series of buckets. In 2026, the first bucket of your income will be taxed at 10%. And once that bucket fills up, the next chunk would be taxed at 12%, then 22%, and so on up to 37%. Now, regardless of what bucket or tax bracket you are in, it is critical to understand that you still get the tax benefits of those lower tax rates on the bottom portions of your income. For example, someone in a 37% tax bracket still pays a 10% tax, a 12% tax, and a 22% tax, and so on different parts of their income. But here's the secret that a lot of people don't know. The tax law actually allows us to reverse this and reduce the amount of income being taxed in these buckets, allowing us to stay in lower tax brackets. And that is where this gets fun, because it is entirely possible for someone to earn income in a 37% tax bracket, but pay a much lower rate, like 10 or 12%, because they are able to reduce something called taxable income. You see, there's income and there's taxable income, and we only pay taxes on our taxable income. For example, someone with $300,000 in W-2 or business income could legally show just $50,000 in taxable income, allowing them to qualify for a 12% marginal tax rate instead of a 32% tax rate. And to make this super simple to understand, I'm going to break down all of these tax rates into 4 zones, starting with zone 1, the tax-free zone. Now, this is when your tax rate is effectively 0 and is accomplished by reducing your taxable income down to 0, which is largely possible through deductions and things referred to as paper losses. Now, to illustrate this in very simple terms, just take a look at the standard deduction. Every single taxpayer can take the standard deduction, which grants about $16,000 to single taxpayers and $32,000 for married taxpayers. So someone with $30,000 in real life income could take the standard deduction and still show 0 taxable income on paper, resulting in 0 taxes actually being owed to the government despite earning income. And the good news is that you can increase this tax-free zone by taking advantage of additional tax incentives around things like deductions, depreciation, deferring your income, and much more that savvy taxpayers are using to generate hundreds of thousands and sometimes even millions of dollars in tax-free income. But then there's zone 2, the safe zone, which is when your marginal tax rate, or in other words, the highest tax bracket your income is taxed at, is between 10 and 12%, which is still highly favorable for most people. In 2026, single taxpayers pay a 10% tax on their first $12,400 of taxable income and a 12% rate on up to about $50,000. While married taxpayers are able to report almost twice as much income into each bracket on up to about $100,000 of income. Now, if this is your marginal tax bracket, then congratulations, you don't really have a tax problem. This is one of the most favorable zones to be in because you may qualify for big tax incentives in the form of tax credits, for example, like the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit, education tax credits, health premiums tax credits, and much more. Plus, you might also qualify for certain income-based tax deductions as well, which can include things like the new auto loan deduction, the new tips deduction, the new overtime deduction, senior deduction, and so on. In this marginal tax bracket, I would not overcomplicate taxes at all by spending a lot of time or money obsessing over different strategies or deductions, because at the end of the day, they would have a minimum impact. You would just be saving 10 to 12 cents on the dollar. But this tone quickly changes when we move into zone 3, which I refer to as the danger zone. And this is when you start losing several tax benefits and also see your first huge spike in tax rates going up to 22 to 24%. And this is when people really start feeling like their taxes are becoming a burden. In 2026, single filers will pay a 22% tax on incomes above the 12% thresholds on up to about $105,000, and then a 24% tax on incomes up to $202,000. Married filers, on the other hand, will pay a 22% rate on incomes above their 12% thresholds on up to about $211,000, then a 24% tax on their incomes up to about $404,000. So on the surface, our tax rate basically doubles here from the last zone. And then on top of that, we start losing tax incentives like the auto loan deduction, senior tax deduction, and potentially others like the IRA deduction, overtime, tips deduction, and more, depending on the exact amount of income you earn in this zone. And that's not even it. In addition to that, you also have to keep in mind that the next big tax hike from here is 32%. So not only are we at risk of losing tax incentives, we are also in danger of our taxes jumping another 8 to 13% if we don't start doing things to reduce our taxable income. So usually if we are in the danger zone, we are either trying to decrease our taxable income into either A, the safe zone, which have brackets ranging from 10 to 12%, or B, the threshold to qualify for certain income-based tax deductions and credits, or C, above all else, simply preventing our incomes from going into the high tax zone of 32% or more. And to do this, people usually start off with very basic things like contributing to their own retirement savings plans or health savings accounts. Or they might also look into maximizing their deductions or changing their tax structure and so on. But ultimately, this is where you need to start laying the foundation on how you are going to mitigate your taxes as you earn more income. Because once you earn above this, you officially enter zone 4, the high tax zone, which is when your marginal tax rate jumps to anywhere from 32 to 37%. This is when taxes start to feel unfair or evade and disrupt your ability to build wealth despite earning more income. This zone begins at about $202,000 for single taxpayers, starting with a 32% tax rate, which then jumps to 35% at $256,000. And then everything above $640,000 is taxed at 37%. And for married taxpayers, the 32% rate starts at $404,000, which progresses to 35% at $512,000 of income. And then everything above $768,000 is taxed at the highest rate of 37% as well. Now, in this zone, you can almost forget about most income-based tax incentives like the child tax credit, the education tax credits, and potentially even things like the 20% QBI deduction, depending on your unique set of circumstances. When savvy taxpayers find themselves in the high tax zone, they go beyond simply searching for deductions. They create deductions by shifting income into various tax deductible investments. Instead of being taxed on all of their income, They defer it through more advanced retirement structures, or they might reinvest funds back into their business or park it into real estate investments that also generate deductions that are so large that it ends up wiping out large portions of their taxable income. But there's only so much you can do with those types of strategies. So once that's maximized, these taxpayers shift from income shifting over to income sheltering. They create tax shelters to shelter income away from being taxed. One of the main reasons why the ultra wealthy avoid paying individual income taxes is because they don't earn individual income. They earn income inside of corporations, which are taxed much differently and also at lower rates of just a flat 21% tax. They also move money into charities, many of which they own or control themselves through setups like private foundations and donor advised funds, for example. Or they can park their wealth into real estate, which can act like a tax shelter, while again creating massive depreciation deductions that end up offsetting a fortune of income under the right setup. At every single tax bracket, there are always things you can do to reduce your taxable income to lower amounts and pay lower rates of taxes, all the way down to zero if you choose to. And as you earn more income, figuring this out becomes an absolute must, or you risk letting taxes evade your ability to build lasting wealth. And if your CPA is not helping you manage your tax bill throughout the year, then just apply to work with my team today at mycpacoach.com.